Cable, you ready?
Yep. Okay. This is the Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen's regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. In person and via Zoom at Dayton Middle School, 1250 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. You can join the meeting with the meeting ID 890-1269-1572, and the passcode to join is 640663. The phone number to call in is 646-931-3860. Public input may be provided using the following methods. Contact our office at Board of Selectmen at dayton-ma.gov to provide input prior to the meeting. This is going to be continually played on Channel 9 and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Town of Dayton. This meeting is being recorded. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed, in fact, may be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. We could please have a call to order?
Good evening. Leonard Hall is present.
Nicole Mello, present.
And Peter Karen is present. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And just one more comment. Right after the Pledge of Allegiance, we have a couple of neighbors and friends that we lost this week, so we're going to have a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since our last meeting, 2 members of the Dayton community have passed. Our thoughts and condolences go out to their families. David A. Dismaris, Jr., age 56, of Swansea, passed away unexpectedly on Thursday, March 14. He was the son of David Dismaris and the late Cynthia Rothwell, and devoted husband of the late Laurie Machado Dismaris. Also, Harold C. Dennis passed into eternal peace on March 18th in North Conway, New Hampshire. He is survived by his wife, Lucille. He was an Air Force veteran and very active in the Dayton Lions Club. Thank you.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is for the Acting Police Chief, George Nichols. Review, discuss, and act contract of employment between George L. Nichols and the Town of Dayton for the position of Police Chief.
Yes, and just really to bring everyone up to speed, since the chief was appointed 2 weeks ago, we have spent the last 2 weeks to negotiate a 3-year employment contract with the chief. The 3-year contract, we believe, is an extremely fair contract to both the chief and the town. It does have a beginning base salary of $126,000 with an additional education incentive. It also includes a $5,000 per year tuition reimbursement as well. And everything else in the proposed contract does follow the typical template language that the town has for all of its non-union employees. And so, I would recommend approval of that contract.
I know we all were there the morning with George, and it was approved by both sides, so we just need to make it official this evening. So is there a motion on the floor to approve this?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract of employment between the Town of Dayton and George L. Nichols for the position of Permanent Police Chief.
I'll second that.
The motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Now we're going to have the swearing-in ceremony for the position of Police Chief. George?
And town clerk.
Wow.
George, I wanted to say first, before we begin, I want to say I'm absolutely honored to be the one to give you this oath.
Thank you.
Please say "I will" or "I do" after each sentence that I say. I, George L. Nichols Jr., do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as the police chief for the town of Dayton, Massachusetts.
I will.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to and will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So help me God.
I will.
I will obey and be bound by such rules and regulations as are now and may be established by the town of Dayton and its police department. Please repeat after me. I, George L. Nichols Jr., do solemnly swear that I will never betray my badge,
I, George L. Nichols Jr., do solemnly swear I will never betray my badge,
my integrity, my character, or the public trust.
my integrity, character, or the public trust.
I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
I will always
I will always have the courage
courage
to hold
to hold
myself
myself
and others,
and others
accountable for our actions.
for our actions.
I, George L. Nichols Jr., hereby accept the position of Chief of Police of the town of Dayton.
I, George L. Nichols Jr., do accept the job as Chief of Police for the Dayton Police Department.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would now like to invite Kim Nichols to come up and do your pinning ceremony.
No pressure.
Don't poke me.
We practiced. Am I totally blocking the camera? Okay.
Thank you. I'm not going to have a speech tonight, but I just want to thank everybody on the board, Dayton Local 306, all the neighboring communities that attended tonight, and especially the townspeople. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George. It's a momentous occasion that marks the beginning of a new chapter in our town's commitment to safety and security. To our new police chief, we extend our warmest congratulations and heartfelt appreciation for taking on this crucial role. Your dedication to public service and your unwavering commitment to uphold the law led you to this esteemed position. I have no doubt that you will bring a fresh perspective and a strong vision to guide us forward. Once again, congratulations on your appointment as our new police chief.
I will admit, it is a very proud moment for me. 1986, I never thought the day would come that a former student would be the police chief of the town of Dayton. When George Nichols walked into my classroom at Taunton High, I'm very proud of this moment, and I wish you the best, George.
Well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to continue with the Board of Selectmen's regular meeting. You're more than welcome to stay. It doesn't get very exciting. But thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting George. And with our heartfelt thanks, you showed us a new way of doing things, and we certainly appreciate you being here. Thank you.
What, you don't want to record the rest of our meeting? Oh. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you so much. You did an excellent job. Have a good one.
Just give them time to clear out. We'll
Sure.
continue.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hall, for everything. Thank you.
You have the announcements for tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a very exciting agenda.
Well, less stress that way.
My phone didn't get wet.
I got tissues, Peter.
If you have one, if not, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I got tissues, Peter. I thought I was just... Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Just give me another minute. I'm sorry, Dave. Oh, that's okay. Oh, yeah. Don't want that sitting in water. Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no rush, Dave.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Next on the scheduled appointments is a Leonard E. Hall Jr. proclamation and certificate of recognition. Yep. Yep.
So Lenny, when you were elected 3 years ago, is this on?
Yep. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
ready? All right, sorry, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Lenny, 3 years.
Can we need a moment?
Sure.
People are still...
Okay, let's go. I think they're on their way out.
Are we good?
Yep.
The next item on the agenda is a recognition of Selectman Lenny Hall Jr., proclamation and a certificate of recognition. And I have to say, 3 years ago, Lenny, just a month into my employment here, I was hired by like a different board, like from Mrs. Goulart, just over 3 years ago now. It's flown by quickly. And like in a month into my time here, you were elected. And over these last 3 years, we have had the ability to really build, like a grow a relationship, a professional relationship. Like in a personal relationship as well. And I just want to thank you for, everything that you have done for the town, and for me, and working to continue to move everything forward these last 3 years. We do have, in recognition, of this actually being your last regular meeting, we are trying to actually, schedule, and we are trying to schedule a special meeting for next week. However, we do know this is your last regular meeting. So we do have a proclamation and a certificate of recognition for you drafted tonight. That reads, whereas Mr. Leonard, whereas Mr. Leonard E. Hull Jr. served as a member of the Dayton-Rehoboth Regional School Committee for 16 years, and worked as a social studies teacher in the Taunton Public Schools for 30 years, as well as being the headmaster at Northbrook Academy in Middleborough from 2013 to 2015. He holds a master's in education degree from American International College, as well as a leadership certificate from Cornell University. Whereas Mr. Lenny E. Hull Jr. built a life here in Dayton alongside his devoted wife, Jacqueline, to whom he was married for 34 years before she passed in 2020, and who worked for the Dayton-Rehoboth Regional School District for 40 years. And whereas Mr. Leonard E. Hull Jr. was elected as a member of the Dayton Board of Selectmen in April 2021. He served as the chairman of the board from 2022 to 2023. Yes. No, those dates are right. I'm sorry. I just had a moment of paranoia. Ian has been involved with and served as a liaison to various boards, committees, and commissions as a selectman, including the Bristol County Advisory Board, the Dayton-Rehoboth Regional School Committee, the Dayton Development Industrial Commission, the Dayton Water District, the Conservation Commission, the Fire Station Building Committee, and the Friends of the Dayton Public Library. Whereas Mr. Leonard E. Hull Jr. championed various initiatives as a member of the Board of Selectmen, including his advocacy for the new library building project at 207 Main Street, helping to further strengthen the Dayton Police Department's relationship with the Dayton-Rehoboth Regional School District, and also improving the collaboration between the town and the Dayton Water District. And whereas we do hereby recognize Mr. Leonard E. Hull Jr. for his hard work and dedication to our community and residents. On behalf of a grateful community, we extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Hull for his tireless public service efforts to help move Dayton forward. And with that, Lenny, we just wanted to thank you again and recognize the tremendous service not only you've had during the last 3 years, but really a lifetime of service. Thank you very much, Lenny.
Mr. Mullen, much appreciated. Thank you. You know, it's about service, serving our community. I said one of my campaign slogans was God, family, country. And that is very important to me. And in service to this community is one aspect of it. I've met some tremendous friends over the years, and I'd like to thank yourself, Karen, Leanne, for all your help, and our trying moments as well as the joyous moments. And, you know, I had the privilege of serving with Dr. Brett Zagofis and Ken Pacheco, and now serving with Peter and Nicole, and I want to thank you both for your time on the board and your friendship, and I thank you. The crowning moment, I think, in the 3 years was the library. What a testament to the community, and what a monument. That goes along with the Berkeley Bridge. And there's a woman here tonight that I would want to thank. Certainly a mentor, and certainly someone I have come to really appreciate for her long service for this community. And Nancy, thank you. Thank you for your guidance, and thank you what you've done for the people of Dayton. It's deeply appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny. Okay, moving on to announcements, please. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have to review, discuss, and act appointment of Melanie Silva as senior.
Yeah, that's not on the agenda, that was removed.
Oh, right, I'm sorry. I'm reading the old one because mine got wet. Move on to announcements, please. Town of Dayton Food Bank.
All right, so the real reason everyone comes to my announcements. The Town of Dayton Food Bank will be held next on April 20th, 2024, located at Town Hall, 979 Somerset Avenue, that's the lower level. There's a notice of an open waiting list. The Taunton Gardens is pleased to announce that they will be accepting applications for 1, 2, and 3 bedroom affordable income wait lists. Applications will be available from February 20th to March 19th. So now it's passed. To request an application by phone, please call 508-822-2501. This next one is also a notice of affordable housing. This is a lottery in Norton Links. Application must be delivered. There's still time by May 7th at 2 p.m. For lottery information applications, please call 617-782-6900, and it's extension 1. Help support the James Brigg Garden. The garden was established in 2021 and directly benefits the Dayton community. All produce is donated to the Dayton's Library Food Pantry and to the Lincoln Village residents. We'd love to have you join, whether you're a seasoned gardener, enjoy being outside, or want to ensure the success of the community's garden. For more information, you can email Kevin Smith at ksmith@dayton-mass.gov or myself at nmello@dayton-ma.gov, and that's it.
Town Administrator's report.
I actually don't have any town administrators report this evening. Actually, everything I wanted to update everyone on will be in the budget update, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So I will link to that.
Okay. The Selectmen reports. I'm first, and I don't have any reports because we're not meeting until this week. Solid Waste is meeting for the next 2 weeks to talk about bag issues and other things. And Open Space, which is going to welcome a couple of new members, is not meeting until next week. So I have nothing.
So Open Space is meeting next week.
The 3rd of April, I think.
Okay.
I'd have to double check that, but I think so. I'll let you know. Mrs. Mello?
I don't have anything as well. We already met for the COD, and then I believe Trails met, but they just went over their budget, which we reviewed last night, and That's it.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hull?
Yes, the DDIC, they will be having their spotlight moment with the Dayton Board of Assessors on April 13th. It will be videotaped, and it will be a question and answer session about taxes. So it's going to be in an interview format. It won't be live, but it will be posted on YouTube. The Dayton Water District. The two issues. One, in regards to the Brook Street well. Negotiations with Dayton and the town of Somerset have reached an impasse, unfortunately. The biggest hurdle is that the Dayton Water District wants to have the right to test the water of the well. And personally, I find it amazing that the Somerset Water District is not in favor of allowing Dayton to test the water before they spend $6 million. I think when you purchase a home, you have it inspected before you buy it. And why Somerset won't relent on that issue is unknown to me.
Are they hiding something?
I'm sorry?
Are they hiding something?
I don't know. But it does, as a result, the moratorium of building will continue. We have enough water to take care of what we have, and things are looking good in that regard. I'm not hearing any talk about water bans. On the same token, there isn't water for future developments in the Dayton Water District at this time. I don't know if the negotiations are going to be completely broken off, but right now, no negotiations are going on. The other issue has to do with notices that everyone received about tetrahalomethyline, not methane. And they got a lot of calls about that. It's methylene. It's not going to explode. They did some flushing. Unfortunately, it only lowered the levels slightly. They're going to do another flush, and then in May, they are going to inspect the tank. And there's a good possibility that the Elm Street tank will be taken offline for a complete cleaning and overhaul, which will cost a great deal of money. The last issue has to is the school department in two issues. One, the school committee last night voted to extend Bill Rooney's contract, the superintendent of schools, to 2028. And he's shown tremendous leadership and team building. There's a lot of excitement in Dayton Rehoboth Regional School District. Second issue, budget negotiations, and last night, Chairman Aaron Morse, who is from Rehoboth, did something that I've never seen in all my years. Obviously, there was talk about budget cuts, and the school committee voted on a final budget for both communities of $51,692.120. The assessment is something that was going to be negotiated further in regards to the town of Dayton, so I'd rather hold off on those numbers. Mr. Rooney came into that meeting with a budget that had a 3.36% increase. And that budget included the cutting of elementary and middle school phys ed teachers. And Mr. Morse allowed the students to speak at length. How they felt that it was not only hurtful for the school, losing those teachers, but also to the students who valued that time and needed their guidance and support as phys ed teachers. When all was said and done, the school committee voted to reinstate those 3 phys ed teachers in Dayton Middle and Elementary School, which was huge. That did increase Mr. Rooney's budget to 4.24%, which, when you talk dollars and cents, it's a modest increase of about $27,000. When you figure, the share and the breakdown between the two towns.
Between the two towns.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Lenny. We appreciate it. You received an award last night?
Yes, I did.
Recognition from
Yes, I
the
did.
school department for your
Yes,
hard
I did.
work? Very
That
nice.
was, yes. I do appreciate it. It was a really good relationship that I had, as was mentioned earlier, with the Board of Selectmen in Rehoboth and the school committee in Rehoboth. Great group of people. I served as a liaison with someone that I served on the school committee, who's now a selectman in Rehoboth, George Solis. So it was fun times. Things have gotten a lot better morale-wise, and the big reason for that is Bill Rooney. He really has brought people together. His educational staff, the parents. I mean, the place was packed last night. And they left very happy. So things are going well. And I think, based on what I'm hearing budget-wise, I know Rehoboth is solid behind the schools. On our end, my understanding is that balancing our budget is around $250,000, which I'm confident we can work through that amount of money. So I think things will be okay going forward for the schools. It should be noted, however, that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has really tucked it to small towns throughout the Commonwealth. And there have been devastating cuts in Chapter 70 funding, in special education funding, and transportation funding throughout the state. And that has obviously impacted Dayton and Rehoboth as well.
All right, thank you. Moving on to old business. Mr. Mullen, FY 2025 budget update.
Yes, like, and just really continuing the segue of, of those issues, really. Like, as we know, we're well into the budget process, in planning for FY 2025. When we met, is this on? Sorry. That good? Oh, there we go. When we met actually 2 weeks ago, based on the changes in the updates to the state Chapter 70 formula process, and based on the proposed FY 25 school district assessment, at the time we were talking about having a deficit and planning for FY 25 of about $450,000. To the district's credit, they have gone back to the drawing board, and as a town, we have, over these last 3 to 4 weeks, we've already gone back to the drawing board and planning for our budget as well. Like we do have a projected deficit as of right now, which we are continuing, like every day to work through and to try to address. Like we've been meeting, we've been having the joint meetings between the BOS, like in the FinCom, which began last Thursday evening. Like we met actually last night. Like we do meet again tomorrow night with the FinCom, and we do like expect, like at this point, a lot of those meetings to also continue into April at this point. We do have as of today, with the updated school district assessment numbers that were voted on and approved by the school committee last night, we do have an FY25 projected deficit, as Lenny mentioned, of about $250,000 now. We do have options, and we do have ways that we have an ability to deal with that, which we've already began having discussions about doing. However, like we really want to work very collaboratively with FinCom to be able to evaluate and address those options as well. Just as a follow-up, when we last met 2 weeks ago, the board did actually vote to weigh in with our state legislative delegation. About the inequities and the challenges that are being created in Dayton, and actually an additional 215 other school districts around the Commonwealth that this funding issue is causing here, and everywhere in Massachusetts. And we did actually follow up with Representative Dowd and Senator Pacheco, early in the week, in the House budget process will really kick in the gear, actually the week before school vacation in April, and hopefully through that process, I don't have a lot of hopes, and I don't hold a lot of optimism, but hopefully the legislative process will be able to help address and provide some additional relief, hopefully well over and above what the governor has proposed, but we don't have any idea whether that will or won't happen at this point. We do on the Town of Dayton website, we do have a budget and finance tab at the bottom of the website, and and everything to do regarding planning for the FY25 budget. We've already begun. We've already begun to upload all of our budgets and planning documents there as well. So everyone at home, if they hear about the town having a planned and projected $250,000
deficit now, they do have the information that really provides additional background about what is causing it. And and anyone has an opportunity to tune into the joint meeting processes that have been happening, and as I mentioned, are likely to continue to happen through the month of April, at this at this venture as well, and we'll also continue providing updates as we as we go forward about as we go forward about where we are, and and what those options that we have and have really reached a consensus on about how we have an ability to close that deficit. Planning to have, we need to have a balanced budget recommendation going into our June 10th town meeting. And, that is the expectation we have, and that's a requirement that we have. And, so we'll be working from now until then to get there and to do that. So if anyone has any questions about, that part of the process, I'm happy to take any questions.
I don't. We've lived it for the last several months, and we've made a lot of headway, but there's still more work to do. But I think the end is in sight. Okay. Moving on to new business, review, discuss, and act encroachment license agreement between the Town of Dayton, David and Michelle White, 2117 William Street. Hi,
Yeah.
guys. I'm sorry you had to sit through all that.
Yeah, no, the White's on here, actually.
Oh, then I'm sorry, I thought you were the Whites. My apologies. Okay, they're not here this evening?
I know, but like we did actually meet with them about like 3 weeks ago now
Right.
to talk about the boulders in the town, like in the town road, and the town roadway layout, like on William Street, which is right at the intersection of Williams, right at the intersection of Williams and Main Street.
Right.
Like as a directive from the board, as a directive from the board and the approval of the board at that meeting, we have spent the last few weeks working with town council, like in the highway superintendent, to come up with a proposed license agreement that would indemnify and hold harmless the town while the town explores options to help address the roadway issues that we face there as well.
Right.
So we have worked with town council and the Whites to come up with a proposed license agreement that will continue through the end of the calendar year with like an option to extend if the parties desire. Like at that time, and we do have we did have the Whites visit town hall this afternoon, and and they have executed on there in anticipation of the board doing the same.
Okay.
And if anyone has any questions on that, I'm happy to take them.
The only question I have, Mrs. Brady, will you be the notary for this?
Actually, the assistant town clerk has already notarized the White's signatures in the executed document, so that's all good.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Yep.
Nicole, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there a motion on the floor to accept this agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we approve the encroachment license agreement between the Town of Dayton and David and Michelle White of 21117 Williams Street as presented this evening.
I'll second that.
The motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Cameron is an aye. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Peter, before we move on,
Yep.
would you entertain a motion to
Yes,
take something
absolutely.
sooner for Stacy?
Stacy? Yes, I was going to make it the same.
Um,
Okay.
I make a motion that we take, new business D out of order, for Stacy Berry as inspector of animals.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Cameron is an aye. Hi, Stacy. How are you this evening? Good. 2 nights in a row.
The renomination for Miss Ferry to be the town of Dayton's inspector of animals is an annual renomination that is submitted to state. In about a year and a half ago, we actually worked with the Board of Health and the Police Department to restructure who has the renomination authority. And at that time, in accordance with the animal control officer's employment contract, we transferred that over to the Board of Selectmen. So this is an annual renomination.
Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Stacy Ferry as inspector of animals.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any
This was a
discussion?
friendly amendment to renominate. Ms.
Renominate.
Ferry. Yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Cameron is an aye. Thank you, Stacy. Back to B. Review, discuss, and act Pleasant Street Bridge, Mass DOT Municipalities Acknowledgement of Project Eligibility Notification.
And this is a really exciting update, I think. The Pleasant Street Bridge Replacement Project continues to be a labor of love. A labor of love between the highway superintendent, myself, with Beta, who are our engineers on the project. We do have a continued partnership. We do have a continued partnership with Representative Pat Haddad and Senator Pacheco on this, in addition to Congressman Archie Kloss as well. But we worked at the end of the last, we worked during the end of the last calendar year to go through the Mass Department of Transportation, what is called its PRC process, where we have to, where we basically, because we do have, and we did at the end of calendar year 2022, secure the 2.75 million federal earmark. However, as a condition of us, actually being able to utilize that earmark that was approved and, approved at the federal level, that earmark, in order for it to be accessed specifically for the Pleasant Street Bridge replacement, has to go through the state Mass DOT process. In the process, in the requirements, that because of that requirement, basically has a very real possibility of changing the scope for the bridge replacement. And in changing the scope for the bridge replacement, we have to go through even more permitting. We also have to, and we're talking about, and we're talking about the potential of it now with the design and engineering, to also, because of the state requirements, we also might have to also anticipate the design and our construction of sidewalks in the area as well. And as we know, we don't have any sidewalks in the area now. So as a result, to get this whole process basically accepted into the state process, at the end of last calendar year, we had to go through the state, what is called the Project Review Committee, the PRC process, where we went through that process with Highway Superintendent Ferry's assistance, and with the help and partnership of Beta. We went through that process at the end, we had everything in for the end of December. We just actually found out that we were accepted, thankfully into that process. So now what's actually being asked of the town and the Board of Selectmen is for the Board of Selectmen to approve the municipalities project eligibility notification form, and that just basically outlines the rest of the process where the state, as long as the town meets it, its engineering, design, and permitting requirements and any other requirements that we have to fund and complete, fund and complete as well. If we do that all and have the project advertised, including any land takings, or easements that we have to do as well, if we have all that done by March 2026, which is a very ambitious timeline, if we do all that and have all that done and have the project advertised by March 30th, 2026, the state, is willing, together with SERPA, to try to find a way to pay for what are now the approximately $5.2 million in construction costs. So the fact that we have actually done a lot of the design and engineering work already, the fact that we've already on our own, together with Rep. Dadson and Pacheco, and Congressman Archie Kloss, the fact that we've also secured of that 5.2 million. The fact that we've already secured almost $3 million of that, the state is willing to kick in the rest as long as like as long as the town is really like committed to continue on. Like in the engineering, design, and permitting process at our expense. Like it's a lot, but hopefully we do, through this whole project, and based on the investment the town has already made, in 2 years we'll be at a point where we will hopefully be at the very beginning stages of the construction for a new bridge.
Great.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, like there was a lot there, like
No.
I actually like feared that I would actually, like have an intent of like putting people to sleep during that.
Well, you empty the room.
Yeah, I know, but like I wanted to really provide that overview because, there's a lot there and we've been working really hard on this, so.
Right. Okay. So you needed something from us then?
Yes, we do, and I am asking the board to approve of the municipality's project eligibility notification acknowledgement form, which is included in the packet.
Yep. Okay.
Now, is it a notification or an agreement?
It is just actually like the state's notification to the town of what really the expectations will be, what the state's expectations of the town will be, and that we acknowledge those expectations.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. Town of Dayton enter into an agreement with the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, municipalities' acknowledgement of project eligibility notification for the Pleasant Street Bridge.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. C, review, discuss, and act contract with RGB Architects for fire station feasibility study.
Yes, we do. We've also, actually, since the end of the summer, we've been working in hopes of finalizing agreement with a firm that we had procured and ranked, and worked with the fire station building committee to go through that whole process with. We did, I believe in October, recommend to the board 3 finalists. We did enter into negotiations with the first ranked finalist that actually broke down at the end of the calendar year. We then entered into a negotiation process with the second ranked firm, with the second ranked firm, RGB Architects out of Providence, Rhode Island. We had a very good site visit with them about a month and a half ago now, and we had we had a really good meeting. And based on what the town is looking for, and based on the priorities of the fire station building committee as well. We found RGB to be very responsive and receptive to trying to analyze and assess the different layers that, really we as a town and the fire station building committee want to look at here. As part of a fire station, as part of a fire station feasibility study, and we do have, based on the article that was approved a year and a half ago at a special town meeting, we do have an article that is actually funded at $150,000. However, we are recommending a contract with RGB in the amount of $125,000, and the $125,000 will really accomplish everything that we set out to do in this project.
Then is there a motion on the floor to go into a contract with RGB?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the town of Dayton approve the contract with RGB Architects for the fire station feasibility study.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. We obviously did D. E, review, discuss, and act request to purchase one Kimtech Firelit Transport Deluxe FDH-203 in accessories for the amount of $7,475 from the Fire Department Ambulance and Fire Gift Account.
Yeah,
This is for the
yeah, like, and this is,
stretcher, right?
yeah, like, this is, like, for, like, a stretcher-type device for the new piece of equipment, that the, like, fire department, through this fire association, was able to purchase, like, actually purchase earlier in the month.
Any questions, guys? Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Dayton Fire Department request to purchase one Kimtech Firelit Transport Deluxe FDH 203 and accessories for the sum of $7,475 from the Fire Department Ambulance and Fire Gift Account.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. F, review, discuss, and act. Cable Committee surplus item request. A Yamaha mixing board, Mackie mixing board, Apple iMac 23-inch. Is that pretty self-explanatory?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what are we gonna do with this stuff? I know it's been declared surplus, so
Yes, we do actually biannually, we do have like a surplus, we do have an auction, we do have a town auction for any equipment and materials that have actually been voted by the board as surplus. And yeah, like we can add these three pieces of equipment to that list.
so it'll go into storage until the
Yes,
auction.
yeah, probably, like we anticipate being able to schedule another auction in October of 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Cable Committee's request to place the following items into surplus: a Yamaha mixing board, a Mackie mixing board, and an Apple iMac 23-inch.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. Review, discuss, and act renewal of an FP2 license for Reese's Auto Sales, 556 Somerset Avenue.
So this is our final FP2 permit in the process. They have been inspected by the fire department, paid all the fees, and all applicable taxes have been paid to the town. Fire department, Captain Gagnon has signed off on this as well. This is just our last one.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to renew the FP2 license of Reese's Auto Sales, 556 Somerset Avenue, Dayton.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. Thank you. Approval of the warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that the town of Dayton pay the warrant for March 21st, 2024. Item 39A-24, $118,018.34. Item 39B-24, $196,154.51.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the town of Dayton pay the warrant for March 28, 2024. Item 48-24, $134,286.48. Item 40B-24, $204,217.48. Item 40C-24, $1,486.96.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. Any acknowledgements, correspondence, public input? Hi, Nancy.
Sticking around, Nancy.
I thought you were falling asleep there for a minute.
First, Mr. Hull, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your kind words. I want to thank you for your service. I know what it's like to sit in that chair. I have a request of the Board of Selectmen. After the election, when you reorganize, make sure you appoint a member of your board to be the representative to the Bristol County Finance Advisory Board. It has to be a selectman, and depending upon where they are in their budget, you don't want them to notify you of a meeting and you have no one who can go. Weighted votes are very important, and I've sat through a number of those meetings when we couldn't call it to order until we got just a fraction over 50% of the weighted votes in order to conduct business. So that is a very, very important position that Mr. Hull has held, and it was the only one I couldn't continue to hold because you must be selectman, mayor, or a councilor. So be sure when you reorganize your committee, that position gets filled.
Okay, we can do that.
It's really strategic. The water district discussion, I gotta go back to the water rights we got when we bought the land on Brook Street. The whole purpose of acquiring that was a future water supply for the town of Dayton. And when it was mentioned to them, the water district, if you want to pursue drilling a well on town property, it's a simple matter of an intermunicipal agreement. They said it would cost $3 million to do a well. I heard $6 million tonight to buy one. And I'm thinking, I'm just putting it out there again. The property would belong to the town of Dayton, but the agreement would allow them to do that. And if this thing is going to continue and the water supply of the town will remain somewhat limited, there's got to be something done. Now, equally unpopular, this town was guaranteed a connection to the desalination plant. That's in the planning board records. Mr. Ferry and his crew was willing to dig the trench from the water district building on Somerset Avenue to the plant. Oh, that water's no good, can't use it. All I know is there's a lot of people drinking that water because that water is being pumped north. That connection, or we call it the spigot, it's in the agreement. So then we said, why don't we just connect up with Taunton and buy surplus, buy water, because that connection is also in that building. It's not going to be compatible. How about if you get water right from Somerset? Somerset is supplying water to residents in the town of Dayton, down Brook Street, down the highway, because the law requires them to supply it. We've got a couple of places where the Dayton water line and the Somerset water line run together. But there are people in town, Brook Street to, I think it's Chase, Chase Avenue, down the highway, 138, that's Somerset water. So I'm not saying anything about testing and all that. All I'm saying to you is, we got residents drinking Somerset water. It just seems that if we have a water supply, if you drill down in the, Somerset owns the other eastern half of the river and the land around it. What we acquired was, if you will, the western half of the river and the land on the western side. Well, if you drill a well, you're going to be in the same aquifer. But again, they said, oh, not going to work. But again, you're talking long-term planning. And if we had an industry that wanted to come in that needed a water supply, it would have to be sorry. I mean, I realize right now what's on hold is housing developments, but I'll just say the opportunity is there, and I mentioned just now several of them. So again, I realize it's a separate board, but people need to know there are options available. If I could drill a well for $3 million, I wouldn't buy one for $6 million. But that's another issue. The other thing I wanted to mention was, Mr. Hull, just because on election day you will no longer be in office, I just want to remind you of something. 3 years ago, I said I was not going to run for selectman. And I went to the school to find out who won the election. And Mr. Hull won the election. Then the town clerk announced who won the assessor's job. We all know who got that job. I didn't even run for it. I just stood there next to Mr. Hull thinking, what do you mean I'm the assessor? And the town clerk says, do you want to take your oath of office with Mr. Hull? So we took it together. So all I say is, Mr. Hull, you may think you're gone as of the election. Yeah, all I can say is it's not over till it's over. The last thing I'll mention is we had a candidates night the other night. And it's kind of strange because there's no competition. You can't rebut if somebody says, I'm going to cut taxes. So I thought, I'm going to leave them with something to think about. There was a pretty good crowd. It wasn't packed, but I said, there's something I want you to understand, first of all. The assessors don't cut taxes. The assessors don't determine the taxes as far as what gets raised, and neither do the selectmen. It's the people at town meeting who determine what the taxes are going to be. So the Board of Assessors kind of just watches it, waits for town meeting to end, and then works with other town officials to determine of all the approvals that were made. And when you reduce it down by whatever state aid and local receipts, whatever you have, transfers, how much money do we have to raise and appropriate? Because whenever you see on the warrant, raise and appropriate, that's your taxes, okay? So you need to know that. So it's people at town meeting that really determine what the taxes are going to be. When the assessors and the selectmen get together to set the tax rate, the important thing is that, again, it's all based on what you've approved. We don't sit around and decide, let's spend this much. It's not that way. So you need to approve it. To keep this in mind, there is a formula, very simple formula. Mr. Hull was sitting in the audience. R plus A equals T. Raise and appropriate equals taxes. It's the RAT formula, R-A-T. Raise and appropriate equals taxes. So when you're thinking about it and you're at town meeting, remember the RAT formula. That truly is what determines what the tax rate will be based on. And it's the easiest way. You don't have to remember anything else. When you say, how much is this going to cost us? If it's RA equals T, it's taxes. So it was a good meeting all in all, but it was strange. There was one individual who got up, and her concern was that when the tax rates are set, the split between residential and commercial, there should be less put on commercial and more on residential. And I said to her, I will point out to you, in all the years I've been involved in municipal finance, this was the first year we really had to look at it. And there was more put on the commercial side simply because we looked at what it was going to cost taxpayers. And it's not that we're trying to put too much on anybody as a burden, but in all honesty, if that particular split had not been approved, your taxes would have been much higher. And it just so happened, but quite frankly, this is the first time I've seen a split like that, but it was necessary. So she seemed happy with that, but I was surprised at the question because I've never heard that before. Most residential taxpayers say, you've got to cut my taxes. But anyhow, so I thank you, and just be aware, Mr. Hull.
Thank you, Nancy.
A couple things from that meeting. One, that was a gamble that we took last year. It paid off. And one of my fears, because I was the one who advocated for it, and Bill Moore from the Board of Assessors did as well, was the fact that what impact would it have on businesses? And none of the businesses left. So I felt good about that, but it was a risky move. But you know, sometimes in tough times, you have to make tough decisions. The other thing, and I promised some people tonight that I would say it, that came up at that meeting, and I won't be on the board to vote for this, but the word is from the incoming selectman who said it loud and clear, from a former selectman who is now an assessor and 2 members of the school committee. This November, they would like to see a debt exclusion for Bristol Plymouth Regional Technical High School Building Project. So I hope.
Thank you. Okay.
Laura.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to provide an update. Mr. Mullen was mentioning the areas that all of the Finance and Board of Selectmen joint meetings and how you have the documents uploaded onto the town website. We did, before we came here today, got all of the, so far, I know we have is it 1 more or 2 more Finance Board of Selectmen joint meetings that are left? Okay, oh, and then there may be more. At least up to date as of today, they are on YouTube as well, the Town of Dayton YouTube page. So it should be under both the Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee playlists. So that's another outlet if they want to watch the raw meetings versus reading through some of the documents. So
thank
just
you.
another outlet to look at those.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we need a motion for approval of the Board of Selectmen's regular meeting minutes of March 13th, 2024. Did you guys get them today?
Yep. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of March 13th, 2024.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Peter Karen's an aye. Motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen's an aye. Thank you.